This video is going to demonstrate some key elements of Microsoft Word that'll get you going during your formatting packet that you'll be working on. You will also have a subsequent video that will walk you through and demonstrate the very first document. And while you're watching that video, I suggest that you have it split screen. So if you access the video from the M drive and you open up and they're playing the video and it's full screen, I would take it out of full screen, click and drag it off to the side, almost as if you're taking it right off the screen. When I hit a certain point, a ghost image appears, and I believe yours is shaded blue. When I see that, I can release it and it will snap it right into place. Do the same thing here. Take it off full screen, drag it off to the side, and it snaps it in. So that way I can watch my video as I'm doing the document. And that way, if I need to pause it, and I can work, play it, and I can, right alongside the video, I can work on my document. For this purposes, and let me open that, make it full screen again so you can see everything. A couple of things I want to point out. Right now, I have my rulers being shown. So that way I can see where my margins are and if I have tabs, stops, and whatnot. If your rulers are not on, simply go to the View tab. All up here, these are all called tabs. This is called a ribbon within that tab. So if I go to the View tab on that ribbon, I can, in the Show group, I simply can select or uncheck the ruler and toggle it on and off. Now with all things in Word, there's going to be multiple ways that you can do the same thing. If you go all the way over to your right-hand scroll bar, right here's your scroll bar over here, very top of it, if I hover over that icon, a little hint comes up and it says View Ruler. If I click on it, it toggles it on or off depending on where it is. So if it's on, I hit that button, it turns it off. If it's off, I hit that button, it turns it on. I also want to make sure that I am in the print layout in my document view. And that, as the name implies, is exactly how the document is going to look when it's printed. It'll show me the margins. Now there's other options here that I rarely use any of these. I stick with the print layout. Now again, you can also do it down here. You go all the way down to the bottom right-hand corner. You have the same icons here. And so I can toggle between outline and print layout. I can also zoom just by clicking and dragging or clicking on the plus or minus. I can also do it up here in View. You click on Zoom and a dialog box opens up and I can choose pre-selected or change the percentage. I can also change if I want to see the entire page. So I can check out the layout to make sure the spacing is right. If I have multiple pages, I can see them side by side, so another page will appear here. So we'll just go to 100% print layout. Now again, a key element is your margin settings. Now to adjust those, I go to the Page Layout tab, click on Margins, and some preset options will appear. It defaults to normal, which is 1 inch around. But if I'd like to change that, if I would like a 2-inch top margin to have a letterhead, if I click on Custom, a new dialog box opens up. And under Margins, in the top, I can simply press 2, and a 2-inch margin will appear. And this gray area indicates to me the margin here on my vertical ruler. I'm going to go back to normal because I want a 1-inch margin all around. I can also change the orientation from portrait, just like your portrait that you take for your pictures. It is taller than it is wider. Landscape's the opposite, wider than it is taller. I'm going to stay here in my Home tab. That's where I'm going to do a lot of my formatting and practice in my formatting packet. I'm going to go to the font group. If I click right here, this is the name of my font. if I click on that down arrow, all of the fonts, it organizes it first by themes. Again, these are default settings from Microsoft Word. These are my recently used fonts, so ones that I've recently selected in various documents. And then all my fonts below, and I can just scroll down and select the one I want. I can also increase and decrease the size of the font through these numbers. I can also do it with these icons. These simply are growing and shrinking, depending. The larger A is grow. So as I click on it, it keeps growing. As I click on the smaller A, it'll shrink it. I can change all kinds of the font features, whether it's bold or underlined, strike through, superscript, subscript, effects. So you'll see outlines and shadows and special features like that, font color. Now, if I see this icon right here on any of my ribbon groups, like paragraph, styles, if I click on that, it opens up a dialog box that will have all of these that are on the ribbon, all of my choices here that are on the ribbon, and in addition to other advanced features. So if I click on that advanced tab here in that dialog box, I can change the character spacing, and I might not be able to do this kind of stuff right here on the ribbon. So again, I can do it either right here on the ribbon, or if I want to open up that dialog box and choose all my formatting choices right here and hit OK. Same thing with the paragraph. You can choose, the bullets, the bullet styles. You can choose list and format your list appropriately, your indents. I'm going to point out this little toggle button right here. This will show or hide your non-printable characters. So these are characters that are in your document that will not show up. This little one shows you paragraph marks or every time you hit enter, so any line space. If I hit tab, a little arrow appears. Every time I hit the space bar, a dot will appear. Again, these will not show up in your document when you print them, but that's useful when you're checking out your layout of your document and if something seems off, like you're seeing extra space that you didn't think was supposed to be there. Turn these on for you, and then you'll be able to see, oh, well, I have all these spaces in here, or I wasn't supposed to hit the tab. Again, I will be using that when I'm grading some of your documents. I'll turn those on to see, are you using tabs appropriately, or using spaces and whatnot. You can also do some alignment. So your paragraph alignment is done here. Let me go ahead and turn that off. But we can left align all your text against the left margin. You can center it horizontally between the left and right margin, or right align, so all my text will line up on that right side, or justify. That will adjust every single line so that the beginning and end all line up with the left and right margins. You most often see that in newspaper or magazine. I can also change the line spacing. The line spacing is the white space between lines of text. And I can also change paragraph spacing. Again, that is white space between paragraphs. If I click that down arrow, numbers appear, and also I can add space or remove space. If I click line spacing options, I can change all of that at the same time. Now, if you see this, the spacing after is set to 10 and multiple at 1.15. That is due to this fact right here. In my styles group, Microsoft Word defaults to a normal setting. That normal setting includes that odd line and paragraph spacing. So before I start any document, I want to click the no spacing style. That is key. Before you start any document, you want to choose the no spacing style. That way you can tell Word exactly how you want to space your lines and how many, if any, space before or after the paragraph is needed. So if I click that line spacing dialog box, I can choose my alignment here. Just like the other, when I chose my font dialog box, I can do all of that I see here in this dialog box. One last thing I want to show you here is the Insert tab. Some of your flyers and things that you're going to be creating require a symbol. You do that through your Insert tab. All the way towards the right on that ribbon, under the Insert tab, is your symbols. You have two choices, your equation. Now this will, for all the people that do any kind of math papers or any of your science lab reports or whatnot, you can go here and it'll put in your equations that are kind of standard so that you don't have to worry about trying to type in that sigma and the pi and whatnot. Or you can also, there's oftentimes that you just need to insert a symbol. Now if you click on that symbol box, some commonly used ones will be here. So you have like trademark and you have the degree sign. So if you want something like 32 degrees Celsius, you can insert that. But if you don't find the symbol that you're looking for, you can click on more symbols and a dialog box will show up. And this symbol here is all dependent on which font you choose. So the different fonts have different symbols available to them. The ones that you'll probably most likely use are either the Wingdings, Webdings, or Symbol. And you can scroll through and select the ones you want. Let's say I want this heart. I have that highlighted, I have it inserted, and it inserts it right into the document where I have my cursor. If I close that dialog box, I can adjust this just like my font. So if I want that bigger, I can make it bigger. I can change the color. And that's how you insert a symbol. And that is the beginnings of Microsoft Word.